Hey, you guys, it's Peter. What was that? And I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube famous now. Available on iTunes. And stay tuned because there's going to be pictures of Peter from high school. And everybody asked for these pictures, so just get ready. They're not my best pictures. But anyway, this video is going to be a little bit different. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. That would mean the world to me. Please share it. I think that the message that I'm going to share today is important because I think that had I heard this message when I was in high school, I think that it would have maybe resonated with me and I would have maybe thought through some things that were told to me. So let me tell you exactly what happened, because what you don't know is a lot. So anyway, I was watching last night the show on Netflix, 13 Reasons Why. Oh my God. Are you guys watching the show? It is fantastic. And probably 4 or 5 years ago, I read the book by Jay Asher, and the show is completely different. So you can read the book and also watch the show, and it won't ruin it for you. And in fact, I don't really remember. I mean, I remember the book, I remember what it was about, but the show is completely different, and it goes more in depth to what the story is about. And the story is about a teenager that commits suicide and the aftermath of how it reflects back on the things that happened to her and what got her there and all these kinds of things. And a big part of the show is about her being bullied. And, you know, I really relate to that story a lot. For me, I can honestly say, and I talk a lot about this on my daily vlog, it's listed below, Peter Vlogs. Please go follow it, would mean the world to me. I'm daily vlogging every day for the year of 2017 and probably 18, 19, and 20. And anyway, but suicide was never really an option for me. And I've talked a lot about my addiction and recovery because I got sober at 22. I've been sober for 22 years. And about how my feelings about myself and being bullied and who I was and my just fear of growing up and not having any direction and being lost and all of that fed into my addiction. And so I was watching the show last night, and then I went to go get a fountain Coke, which I often do, and I kind of couldn't get out of my head this one scene that had happened in the show. And it was interesting because it was kind of not like a really serious scene compared to a lot of what happens on the show. And what the scene is it's when the main character, Hannah, meets with her guidance counselor, and they're talking about college options. And, you know, she's talking about wanting to go to NYU or Columbia, and he's like, well, your grades really aren't that good enough for it, and you might want to have to you know, aim a little lower and all that kind of stuff. And I was quickly reminded of meeting with my guidance counselor for that meeting and for many others. And so Mrs. Collier, my guidance counselor for high school, hats off to you, baby. This video is for you. I believe that there are people in positions that should never be there, that are actually doing more danger and more harm than good. And I think, looking back, my school guidance counselor was one of those people. Before I ever had the college meeting with her, I had to meet with her on several different occasions because I was bullied horrendously in high school. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about bullying on my channel before, I am a big, you know, believer that today we deal with bullying through love and compassion. I believe the person that is being bullied and the bully both need help and they need to work together. I think they both have issues that they need to overcome. And I'm a big believer in overcoming those issues and forgiving the bully and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, that's what I've had to do in my life to be able to move on. And so I harbor no hatred in my heart today towards the people that bullied me. I really, really don't. But I still have some questions for the people that allowed it. The people that were the bystanders that just sat by and watched it happen. I really have some serious questions for those people because they were adults. And why adults would allow that is beyond me. And every single time there was an issue that happened, whether it was me getting pushed down the stairs, whether it was my car being vandalized, whether it was my locker being vandalized, whether it was me being publicly called out in a pep rally that I was forced to go to that I was not comfortable being at, or in a gym locker situation, or no matter what happened, I can probably in my head just quickly tip off 5 or 6 situations where I was the one sitting in the counselor's office and the other person got off scot-free, and Mrs. Collier, my guidance counselor, looked at me and on each occasion asked me, what did you do to instigate this? I'm just gonna let that sit with you for a second, okay? I'm the one being pushed. I'm the one being called out in a locker room. I'm the one being called out in a pep rally, made fun of in front of thousands of people. I'm the one whose car is being vandalized. I'm whose one's being locker has, I come to it and it has on a Sharpie marker, faggot written on it. And she wants to know what I'm doing to instigate that. And at that time, let's take a look back. Here's Peter in 10th grade. My mom wrote on the back of it, Peter A. Monn, 10th grade, Carmel High School, Carmel, Indiana. And here I am as a junior. So here's Peter instigating being bullied. She gave me a lot of power, didn't she? But that's not what I'm really the most confused about with this woman. And I'm really doing this video not as retribution to her, but just as how much I think that we affect other people in our lives, which is what this show is really about. And I really think that it's an important thought. And so I was kind of wanting to speak to myself when I was in high school and remind myself of a few things. So I had a meeting with her at the end of my junior year, which would have been this picture. Middle of the end of my junior year, and my grades were not good. I graduated high school with a 1.86. True story, okay? I don't remember ever bringing home homework. I don't remember my parents, my father is a surgeon and my mother was master's educated educator. I don't remember either one of them ever asking me about my grades or anything to do with it. I really don't. And what's interesting is that all of these times with being bullied, all of these times that I was meeting with this guidance counselor, never once did she ever ask me how it was affecting my school life, what was going on. She never asked me why my grades were so poor. She never asked me if it was affecting my grades. She never called my parents in. My parents had no clue that any of this was going on. And I wasn't going to tell them because I didn't want my parents worried about me. But never once did any of that happen. And in fact, having a student with a 1.86, which is almost failing out of high school, and I was missing, you could miss 12 days a semester. I missed 12 days a semester. I missed as many days as I possibly could because school was straight hell for me, right? Never once did she ever ask me why I was missing so much school. She was not invested in me as a student whatsoever. But she was invested in giving me her greatest piece of advice. And what that was when I met with her, she said, have you thought about different college options? And I really wasn't very realistic in high school. And I was like, well, I was thinking kind of like Indiana University or whatever. And she was like, you need like a 3 to a 3.5 to get into Indiana University, right? And I was like, no, I wasn't aware of that. She was like, have you taken your SATs? And I did, and I failed them miserably. I was hungover the day that I took my SATs. So anyway, she was like, I just don't think these college options are very real for you. You need to aim much lower. And I go, okay, like what? She goes like, and she looked at me and I will never forget this. She goes, I don't even think you can get into community college. Like no compassion, no like, babe, I'm worried about, babe, like she would say that to me, but no like, Peter, I'm worried about you. What's going on with you that your grades are so horrible, that you're missing this much school, that you're ending up in my office once every 2 or 3 weeks for being bullied? Like, I'm concerned about you, right? None of that. But what she said to me was, I don't even think you can get into junior college. And I'll never forget this because I kind of thought I was like, what? Like, I mean, with a 1.86, you couldn't tell me I wasn't Harvard bound, okay? I mean, listen, I looked the part. Let's just be for real. And we know that's all that matters is if you look the part. So anyway, I looked at her and I go, junior college, like that. And she goes, I mean, at this point, you aren't going to amount to much. You aren't going to amount to much. A high school guidance counselor told me that. So let's flash forward, Mrs. Collier. I ended up going to Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis, which was somewhat like a junior college at that time. It isn't today. It's a great university today. Not with your help. You never arranged a school visit. You never arranged applications for me to get in there. I had to do that all on my own. This person that was never going to amount to anything. I ended up graduating with a degree in creative writing and film studies. I ended up getting my master's degree in social work. I got sober at 22, and I've been sober for 22 years. I've written and I've published a book. I'm married. I've had 3 long-term relationships. And I think sometimes I might be just a little bit inspiring to other people. And I hope that I lift people up on a daily basis. And I kind of have a successful YouTube channel. I'm not YouTube famous, and we all know that. But I think people like to watch my videos sometimes. So Mrs. Collier, you were wrong. I did amount to something. Maybe not in your eyes what you had hoped for me. Maybe not what you thought somebody being bullied and pushed down the hallways deserved. But I did amount to something. And even if I just amounted to being a host at Walmart when people came in through the door, making their day feel a little bit better, or working at a gas station, or being a bum on the street, if I survived, it was better than the hope that you gave me. And for us to give people that kind of language, because the language that we speak to people doesn't just come through the words that we use, it comes from the emotions that we get. I was a scared teenager that was bullied in the halls of the high school that I went to every day. I had very few friends, and I was scared to death of my future, and I felt completely lost. I had nobody to talk to, and the one person that I went to that I was honest with told me, you probably won't amount to much. I don't know why we have those kind of people working in our school systems. It terrifies me. If I could go back today and I could tell the 16-year-old Peter Monn who would be sitting in front of me, what I would say to him is, you're a really adorable young man who's funny, kind, and compassionate. Your mother will get sober and continue to have hope, because one day things will get better for you. People will stop bullying you. People will be nice. People will realize that it feels better to be nice than to hurt somebody, okay? You'll accomplish the writing dreams of your life, and actually, you probably could get a book published now if you really put your heart and soul into it. Don't wait until you're 40 to publish a book. People are publishing books at 16, 17, and 18 now, okay? If you want to be a movie director or a movie actor, or if you want to be on Broadway, or if you want to be an attorney, or if you want to be a doctor, don't let that 1.86 ever stand in your way. Those grades do not define you. Who you are in high school is not who you are for the rest of your life. And I am so thankful that I understand that today, but it took me a long, long time to get away from all of that and that belief that I was that piece of shit walking the hallways of that school being called faggot on a daily basis, endorsed by a school guidance counselor that told me that I would amount to nothing. That took me years to get over. Today, I know that's not true. Today, I know that that's not my truth. And today, I know that's not who I am. But why would it have to take me 25 years to get there? If I had had a counselor that looked at me and said, you can be whatever you want to be. You're missing a lot of school, that concerns me. You're being bullied in the hallways, I don't know how you're dealing with that. What can I do to make this situation better for you? What can I do to make this school environment safe for you? What can I do to make your dreams come true? Why aren't we doing that with our teenagers? Why aren't we being dreamers with them instead of dream killers? I mean, I just don't get it. Like, I really don't. And it devastates me. And the fact that this show, the same exact thing is happening in it, and I know it's fiction and I know it's a movie, but the exact same thing is happening in this show that happened to me 25 years ago means it still happens today. And listen, I work with teenagers. I've worked with teenagers that have drug and alcohol problems for 20 years. And this shit still happens on a daily basis. From parents, from teachers, from guidance counselors, from therapists, from whatever, from coaches all across the world. In one way or another, we're still telling teenagers, you won't amount to anything. Fuck that. You'll amount to exactly what you want. Dream huge, dream big. And once you get that dream, dream a bigger dream. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to have the most amazing life possible. And once I figured that out, the world aligned and I got the most amazing world possible. I have the most amazing life today. I'm so excited to wake up on a daily basis and see what I'm gonna face. What book am I gonna work on today? What book am I gonna read today? What video am I gonna make? Who am I gonna meet? Am I gonna meet somebody new? What exciting thing is gonna happen today? But had I stuck in that belief that I was never going to amount to anything, can you imagine had she said that to somebody that maybe didn't have the same mindset as I did and didn't have the compassionate parents that I did and didn't have those 4 girlfriends that were telling me that I was cool as shit. If I was completely alone in the world, can you imagine maybe what I would have done with that statement? How dare you? That's dangerous. Today, we need to lift the kids up instead of put them down. And like I've said before, I stand with the kids. I love you guys so much. Do you relate to this story? Have you had this happen to you? Like, did you have a dream killer in your life? If you did, let me tell you right now, I'm a dream lifter, not a dream killer. Go out there, make your dreams happen, have the best life possible. You deserve it. I love you. Bye.